What's up, guys? Man, I've been going. So, I wanted to talk about the concept of work and how it's ingrained in our DNA. Sigmund Freud said that what made a human whole is work and love. Now, aside from the obvious changes we've seen in the structure of love, we have to ask ourselves, how has the principle of work changed since the time of Sigmund Freud, apparently one of the godfathers of modern psychology? The direction shifted drastically in the early 20th century once agriculture met the industry. Before this time, basically, unless it was forced labor, many people had a small business, all right? They had a trade that they were known for and serviced it to their communities. That's really what it's called too. It was unforced labor, that line of work during the time. So some of the architects of modern society laid the foundation to move the independent craftsman of some sort to the blue-collar worker who, mind you, had to work in the most dangerous and cruel conditions we could possibly imagine. Grueling away for like 12 hours a day, making somebody else rich. At this point, work was still the staple of American civilization. But working for the greater good of society, making car tires, military weapons, it just seemed more admirable. And as monopolies first started to come into play, there was aggressive competition for the already struggling farmer and blacksmith. Later down the line, technology became a huge threat for the job market because researchers agreed that it would subdue physical labor altogether. All right, what they foresaw was a society where citizens would have no jobs and therefore wouldn't be able to consume and keep the economy strong, because that's how the cycle works. Now, of all people, the Nixon administration proposed a solution to this. Their idea was to end the welfare system by guaranteeing members of society an annual income that would place them right above the poverty line. Now, I could already hear some people's blood boiling over the notion that nobody should get something from doing nothing, right? But they did experiments. They did one in the States, and they did it in Canada, and they tried to figure out was whether people would stop working after receiving this guaranteed income. And the result was the exact opposite. It actually increased the amount of productivity. Alright, because in my mind, the only thing that discourages growth on an individual and a collective level is the lack of capital. Alright, you want to get something to eat, you got no funding. Alright, you want to start a business, you got no capital. So you're discouraged, it's over. So anyway, these results made Congress immediately jump on the opportunity, but were persuaded otherwise by some of Nixon's advisors. Dick Cheney was one of them. Fucking Dick. This would have been cheaper than the current welfare system of the time and actually promote self-sufficiency and a sustainable economy. So now, 50 years later, those experiments are long forgotten, and we are in worse shape than ever. The only solution that people have at this point is more jobs. Guarantee people full-time employment, maybe. That's a great suggestion and all, but it's just not plausible to me. The job market is failing each and every one of us. The majority of people are going to work every day at a job that they hate, and they're still struggling to make ends meet. All right, the jobs that are available cannot provide an adequate salary for these workers. Technology and modern finances is changing that. Unfortunately, the hard work doctrine is still trying to hold on because our parents came from a generation where the job market and the economy was entirely different. They still have faith because that's all they know. Okay, so kids are being told to find a job or go to school, which are no longer effective means to produce wealth. Kids go to work and find out, well, this shit is not how they made it out to be. But people that have been indoctrinated into this hard work illusion are so quick to criticize when someone doesn't have a job. It's like, motherfucker, the ship is sinking. Like, you don't want to jump out? You sure? You don't want me to get you a life jacket or nothing? Because that's where the job market is at. People may have this outdated belief that, hard work builds character or some shit, but there's nothing admirable of working so hard and getting paid so little. There's nothing honorable about having time taken away from your family and passions in exchange for breadcrumbs. Monotonous work, man, answering phones over and over. Like, this doctrine, all right, is similar to Nazi ideologies that hard work will make you free. Did y'all see the concentration camps? I don't think that's the freedom they were looking for, all right? It's nearly identical to the early days of the state penitentiaries, where they would make prisoners like chip away at rocks all day long. This system makes your effort meaningless to your personal growth. It makes your life meaningless. And then we're told we should be grateful to even have the opportunity to work. Look, all those hours on a slow night where I had to mop floors and clean tables just to appear productive, I can never get back. All right? And the work that I put in, along with millions of others, benefited the most hardworking and upright individuals that we know, the bankers on Wall Street. So, wait a minute. Because there's people that believe the most historically hardworking people in America, such as the immigrants and poor people, are lazy, and don't recognize the least hardworking people run major financial institutions we consider too big to fail. Alas, it's time to accept what was and recognize what is. The most valuable asset we as humans have is time. Alright, so real work is the time you spend improving yourself and your immediate reality. That's what builds character. Not the reality of CEOs that you've never met in person or some nonsense. It's time for all of us to harness our gifts and use it as a vehicle to become self-sufficient.